E3 2019 just ended, and Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the most talked about games at the show. This year, CD PROJEKT RED actually had a demo to show us at the show floor. Now, I wasn't allowed to film inside of the demo, but I can tell you about everything that I saw. Hi everyone, I'm Chronos Otaku, and this is my Cyberpunk 2077 show floor demo breakdown. So at this year's E3, CD PROJEKT RED had a huge booth on the show floor. The whole area was dressed up like it was some building out of Cyberpunk. The demo starts off with V walking into the base of the Voodoo Boys. These guys are hardcore netrunners. Now, netrunners is Cyberpunk speak for hackers. I don't know why they don't say hackers, but whatever. One of the first things I actually noticed was Keanu / Johnny Silverhand in the room, but only we, the player, could actually see or hear him. It turns out that Johnny is an AI in your head, so that's kind of cool. So it turns out the Voodoo Boys want you to check out a van that's been hijacked by a rival gang called the Animals. And the Animals are a coked out group of beefcakes that love working out, hitting the gym, and drinking a bunch of juice. Also, by juice, I mean like Cyberpunk 2077 steroids. It's like a drug. One cool thing that we got to see was what V sees through his cyber eye, and also the implant that's in his head that allows him to translate any language that's spoken to him on the fly so that the player can understand anything that's being said in the world. At least that's what it seemed like was going on. So the Voodoo Boys kind of force you into taking this mission, even though it doesn't seem like you really want to. And they tell you that the Animals are hanging out in this place called the Grand Imperial Mall, which used to be a poppin' ass mall, but now it's just a bunch of old people walking around in the morning, doing exercise, and maybe like a half-abandoned Hot Topic. We get a chance to see what V's motorcycle looks like as you head over to the Grand Imperial Mall. I'm gonna call it a cyber motorcycle because apparently if you put the word cyber in front of something in this world, it becomes cool. So when you get to the mall, you see your contacts there, these Voodoo Boys that have been covertly scoping out the mall all day. And by covertly, I mean they stood in front of the mall outside of their car and everyone saw them. Super operator. So V makes his way into the mall all Metal Gear Solid style. He sneaks around and he finds his guard and just ruins his day. I think maybe, if I'm remembering this right, he actually puts the body in the garbage chute. The dev told us that you can actually do a non-lethal run, but that wasn't what they were going to show us because that's not as cool. Once inside the mall, V notices that there's animals everywhere inside of the mall. These guys are jacked up on juice. I love it more than I did when I was 5 years old. And juice in this world is like steroids, so they're flipping out. V goes around the mall, stealth killing everyone. He's killing whole generations of people. It's operator as fuck. Eventually, V makes his way into the gym and he sees these guys working out. This one guy's going ham on the bench press and he decides, well, I'm gonna murder that guy. And so he hacks the weight machine and has it crush him. And then also, he sees this other guy sparring with a boxing robot and he decides, I'm gonna fuck him up too. And so he hacks that robot and that thing punches the guy so hard he died. Oh, also, you can hack vending machines. The demo we'd been seeing so far was a relatively stealth playthrough, but now the dev wanted to show us what it was like if you played super aggressive. They had a special game switcher that allowed them to change the game they were playing to a separate one with a female V that had been playing completely aggressive. Now, this switcher is not going to be in the final game. It's just something that they made for showing in demos like this one. This version of V was super aggressive, and she started ripping through the animals like they were nothing. And she starts ripping off limbs, blasting off faces, everything. Earlier I mentioned that you can actually hack in the game, and you do this actually by using this thing called a nanowire that lets you connect to whatever you want to hack. And then a little grid type game comes up where you enter a sequence of numbers, and then if you do it right, the hack is successful. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the limitations of hacking is. If it seemed like you can either take control of things or even gain abilities by hacking. The V in this game had the same nanowire, but she wasn't hacking. She actually used it like a whip, and now the nanowire glows. It looks like a lightsaber piece of spaghetti, and I guess that's actually pretty dangerous because when she whips it around, it cuts through people like Swiss cheese. Just arms and legs and heads and torsos just flopping right off, just like a hot knife through butter. It was actually pretty cool. After clearing out almost every single person in the building, V eventually makes her way to a room that looks like it's for a boss fight, and a giant lady comes out, and it seems like they're about to go at it, and then the demo cuts. So that's all we get to see for now. I would have liked to see how the boss fight went, but they felt like that was the perfect moment to cut off. I actually don't agree. It would have been cool. So this build was running on PC, and I didn't notice any really big dips in frame rate. The build that they had actually was pretty solid, and it looked really clean, and it's hard to tell what is final assets and what's going to be replaced eventually, because it looks so good at this point. Hopefully this demo is actually pretty accurate to the final product. That's kind of a problem with E3 demos, is that they tend not to be very accurate, but CD PROJEKT RED seems to have a good reputation with this, so hopefully it'll be what we actually get in the end. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Chronos Otaku, and this has been my E3 2019 Cyberpunk 2077 show floor demo breakdown.